I've never seen a show fight itself as much as Marshals does. Let's have a chat. Hello my friend, welcome to the campfire. So I want to talk about Marshals and how I feel like it's suffering from a bit of an identity crisis. Because the show is set out to be this police procedural law enforcement show where the team go and solve these cases, and then Kayce Dutton joins the team and becomes part of it. And I think the problem is with this show is Kayce Dutton. Because as soon as you introduce Kayce Dutton, it becomes, oh, this is Yellowstone again. Kayce's bringing the memories and the DNA of Yellowstone into this new show. Now, I wouldn't say that would be a problem because it's like enhancing the brand. But then they need to have a clear intention of what they want to do. Like, is this a police show, law enforcement show that's solving cases, or is this the Kayce Dutton show? And that is the problem I feel like this show has. It doesn't know what it wants to do more. So it starts off and you're having these cases that are like a tiny little bit just bolted on the end of the episode. Like there's these people we have to apprehend. They find them on their computers quick, and then they go and get them and they've got them. And then it's done. And you're like, oh, okay then. Whereas say a Criminal Minds or a SWAT, the episode would start. And you have the case started and you'd see the criminal doing whatever they're doing. And then you see the team working through a process of how to apprehend him. And then they try and find him and it doesn't all go smoothly. And in the end, they find him and they solve the case and everything pans out. And I was kind of expecting, because it's called Marshals, that same kind of pattern, that same kind of, we have a case, we're going to solve it and do this and do that. And you're thinking, right, okay, so Kayce is now coming into the show to bring the brand over, but that doesn't mean it needs to go away from what they want Marshals to be. But it does, because as soon as Kayce comes in, they start injecting a little look at the ranch, a little bit about Monica and how she died of cancer on the reservation and rainwater and stuff. And it's like, fine, you're using parts of the universe, but then Kayce becomes the be all and end all. It starts to be like Kayce's the main character and everything revolves around Kayce. Something goes wrong in a case, Kayce's the one to solve it. Somebody has an accident or needs someone to sort it out, Kayce sorts it. He becomes like this superhero, and I get having him in the show, I really do, because it's bringing the brand, it's linking, people want to see him again. But he can't be the be-all and end-all. Cal, the team leader, Kayce's friend, he's a strong character. See, what I would have done, I would have had episode 1 with the team and established the team first. So we all get to know the team. We get to see Cal as a leader and his squad around him and see them as competent federal marshals, because they need to be. And then Kayce could have been introduced when there was the protest, when it got rainwater injured and put him in hospital. And if they'd had Kayce's son get injured there and Kayce's son went to hospital, it then would make sense for Kayce to then join the team so he can find out what happened and who was after rainwater and protect his son in the meantime. And then at the end of the season, he could join Marshals because he did good. But his original code from Yellowstone was to not do that, was to retire on his ranch. So there was so much conflicting stuff, but they kept injecting Kayce, sorry, his name went then. They kept injecting Kayce as this superhero. Like the normal federal officers looked like bumbling cops. They didn't know how to even approach enemies. And then the further madness of the show was Montana turned into like a war zone. It was mad. The body count, there was so many deaths. It was a stupid amount of deaths. People just, they're rolling up the US Marshals and shooting 10, 20 people each episode. And it's like, this is just ridiculous. People's lives just gone in a blink of a second, and it just. I'm not being funny. The death count is far too high. In Yellowstone, yes, there was death, but normally they were structural. There was a reason for it, and then it was like one or two people who could disappear at the train station. It had more thingy to it. This felt like a computer game. Some of them where they just roll up, shoot a load of guns, death there, death there, death there. Someone in a window dies. For me, the show it's just a mess. It's a hot mess of not knowing what it wants to be. And Kayce always comes along, always saves the day, and yet the cases, they're just not strong enough. They need to make the cases more substantial. And like I say, Kayce being part of the team, great, but he can't be the all-action hero. He can't be. Like SWAT, you had Hondo, who was the main leader, and then you had people like Deacon, who were good underneath. Well, Cal should have been the main leader, and Kayce should have been the Deacon, supporting role. Like I say, for me, if they were doing it the way they did it, it should have been Kayce Dutton, US Marshal, because then everyone knows it's about him. But by saying US Marshals, you're giving us the inclination to believe it's a police procedural one, and we're going to have actually some decent cases and not just revolve around Kayce's life. So that's my opinions on it. I might have gone off on a tangent at moments, but that's just how I see it. Take care, my friend. I'll catch you next time.